he and his wife are both doctors, and they live in New Hampshire in a property out rural they bought after their kids grew up. And she drives every day to Boston. She's like a radiologist or something. I forget where he goes. He may go to New York.
Well, the last time Sherry and I went to Maine to Acadia National Park to do some hiking, we flew into Boston, and it was only 28 miles across New Hampshire to Maine.
Can you hear us, Dr. Merrill?
I certainly can, sir. And my wife's an anesthesiologist, just to correct you.
Anesthesiologist. Okay, that's it. And where is your office? You practice in what state?
I'm just outside of Boston. I live in New Hampshire, but just outside of Boston.
And tell me what the photograph of the what is that, a PBY, or what's that plane?
Oh, that's the Spruce Goose, the Howard Hughes plane from World War II.
Oh, the Spruce Goose?
Yes, sir. Picked up at the Air and Space Museum in Washington many years ago. It's just a nice picture back there. It's really, you can't find them very often.
Yeah. So what is the temperature in New Hampshire this morning?
You know, I was walking outside the hospital and thinking about my experience in Texas yesterday. It's 72, 35% humidity with a light breeze.
Yeah, well, we hate you.
I don't know how you all survive in that heat. I just about died.
Yeah, the worse it gets, the older I get, the more the humidity seems to bother me. So I tell my wife, I've told her 100 times over the last 3 years, when I retire, we're going to live here between September and May, and then we're going to go to Montana, Alaska, Wyoming.
Very nice.
Summers. Someplace cool.
Fantastic.
All right, let's see. Cheshire County, New Hampshire.
That is correct. That's my home. Yes, sir.
All righty. I just got a book on the hiking trails of New Hampshire and Vermont. Hopefully it's going to be interesting.
Mount Monadnock is right outside our window. It's one of the most hiked mountains in the world. Yeah, we look right at it.
Name of it?
Mount Monadnock. Monadnock. It's third most climbed in the mountain or world. I mean, second most climbed in the world, I believe. Mount Fuji's number one.
Hmm. So what is the mountain? Is it Mount Washington? Is it in New Hampshire or Vermont?
New Hampshire's very northern New Hampshire.
That's the one that's supposed to have the horrible winds.
Yes, sir.
Top of it.
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing this by Zoom, so I typically do a little bit of the lawyer's work on this because it's easier for me to see. If I could get you to raise your right hand, please.
Yes, sir.
Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth so help you God.
I do.
All right, I'm going to hold up what purports to be the last will and testament of Barbara E. North. Do you recognize that as being such?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and I'm going to go to the last page of that will and ask you if you recognize that as being her signature on that document.
Yes, sir, I do. Yep.
Okay, and to your knowledge, after the date she made this will, which appears to have been on January 31st of 1997, did she ever change it or revoke it?
No, sir, she did not.
Okay, may proceed.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Merrill, I think you have the proof of death and other facts that we sent to you.
Yes, sir, I have it, but can I interject one thing?
Sure.
The address for the notary, it's easiest, I can try to find one in New Hampshire, but there's one at my hospital right here, but that would be Massachusetts. Is that going to be a problem if the notaries?
That's fine.
No, sir.
I changed it already. It's hard to edit a PDF, and I've already had it notarized, if that helps.
Well, I'm afraid you did it in advance of the hearing, so we're going to have a sheriff go up there and arrest you.
Sorry. I can redo it and walk it back over.
The question, we'll be fine.
Okay, sir.
The state's code says we'll hold these in open court, so we'll.
Maybe you can sign your name over the name that's on there.
Okay, I can redo it. I just walk it over afterwards.
Not yet. Dr. Merrill, you've reviewed this proof of death and other facts.
Yes, sir, I have.
And is it your testimony of the court that all the facts stated therein are true and correct?
They are.
All right. And you are named independent executor in the will. Well, you're the alternate, but your mother has waived her right to serve and your father is deceased. And so that task falls upon you and you are willing to serve in that capacity. And you know of no reason that you're not qualified to act as
No,
executor.
no reason. And then what you said is true.
Thank you.
All right, so you're gonna have those notarized and forwarded back to Mr. Black. Once he receives those, he'll e-file those with the county clerk. When he e-files them, I'll sign the order admitting your aunt's will to probate and authorizing the county clerk to issue letters testamentary. The letters testamentary will be verification of your authority to act on behalf of the estate. So if you need to deal with real estate title companies, insurance companies, financial institutions, you'll use those letters to do so. They're good for 90 days. If they go stale, he can always get you more from the county clerk's office. This is a guide right here that I'm going to give to Mr. Black to send to you. And it explains what your duties and responsibilities are as representative of the estate. One of the most important of which, from my perspective, is to make sure you cooperate with him in doing an inventory appraisement and list of claims or an affidavit, and he'll explain to you what that involves. But other than that, I know he's going to do a good job of guiding you through the process. So I hope everything goes well. And bless you for having the opportunity to enjoy those moderate temperatures up there.
It is nice up here. I hate to say it, but it is nice.
Well, we also, where were you born?
Upstate New York, up in the Adirondack Mountain, Lake Placid area.
And what did your dad do?
He was a county judge for many years, believe it or not, in New York State.
Ah, he was mentally ill. All right. All right. Well, I hope you have a great week. And I know Mr. Black is going to do a great job of guiding you through the process. So you can let us know if you need anything.
I sure appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
I'll take care.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, sir. Bye now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Okay, who have we got next? Mr. Valcarci or let's see, yeah, DeWitt.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's on that South Hub.
Okay. I don't see that, so that,
Mm,
I don't see this.
mm. You want to go to South Hub?
No, on this one. Mr. DeWitt, isn't
I know, I said you want to go to the next one.
let's see. Yes, that's
Hey,
good.
morning, Judge. How are you?
Good morning.
Where his
Do you
client
have
is.
your client with you?
Yes, he just stepped out. He'll be here in just 1 second. I apologize.
How do you say that? Do you say Valcarce?
Valcarce. Valcarce. Oh, it was Spanish for Valcarcel, and my grandfather, for some reason, dropped the L. So Valcarce. Cell was original, but now it's Valcarce. And here's the judge.
XIS. My grandfather put a U in it. Some of the siblings have AXIS.
Okay, we're doing immuniment this morning.
That's crazy.
All right, good morning, Mr. DeWitt.
Good morning, sir.
I take it you are Wallace E. DeWitt.
Yes,
All right, if you would raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call to be the truth to help you God.
I do. Yes.
Okay, because we're doing this via Zoom, I typically do a little bit of the lawyer's work for him. So I'm going to ask you, do you recognize this as being the last will and testament of Paula DeWitt?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to go back to the signature page and ask you, do you recognize that as being her signature on that document?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, after the date she made this will, which appears to have been on the 28th day of September of 1988, did she ever change it or revoke it?
No, sir.
Okay, and looks like we have a waiver and renunciation from Karen DeWitt on this.
Yes.
Okay. All right, go right ahead, Mr. Valcarte.
Thank you, Judge. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Wallace Eugene DeWitt.
And your mom, Paula J. DeWitt, she died on July 26, 2020 in Kingwood, Montgomery County, Texas, at the age of 83 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at the time of her death, she resided in Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
And 4 years have now elapsed since the day of her death. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she owned real property in the state of Texas, in Shelby County. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she just never applied for Medicaid benefits, to your best of your knowledge. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Judge already spoke to you about the will. That will was self-proved by law. Is that correct?
Yes.
And no child was born to or adopted by her after the date of that will. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she was no marriage was ever dissolved after the date of that will. Is that correct?
Yes.
And neither the government, charitable organization, or agency of the government was named as a beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes.
The three beneficiaries that were named in the will were yourself and your two sisters, Karen and Robin. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your sister Karen and Robin have both signed waivers and renunciations. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at the time of her death, she was married to Billy Filan, and he is not named, but there was a premarital agreement, and he has also signed a waiver and renunciation. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've investigated the affairs of your mom, and she had no debts outstanding, to the best of your knowledge. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're asking the court to admit this as a minimum of title, and you ask that the requirement for filing an affidavit be waived. Is that correct?
Yes.
Nothing
What age are you?
I am 54, sir.
Okay, so you were 18 when she made this will. Okay. You graduated from high school in 88?
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. And your mom was a resident of Jefferson County, apparently lived on Townhouse Lane at the time of her death. Is that correct? But she was temporarily located in I don't know if that's Harris County or Montgomery County, but
Yes. It was Montgomery County. She had come to visit.
okay, very good. All right, so you're going to send those proofs for your attorney. Once those are notarized, he will e-file those with Jefferson County Clerk's office. When he filed those, I'll sign the order admitting the will to probate as a minimum of title. He'll probably want to order a certified copy of the will in order so that you can take care of transferring the title of the real estate or doing whatever you need to do. But other than that, I hope everything goes well. Let me know if y'all need anything else.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you, Your
Have a
Honor.
great week.
You too. Thank you, Your Honor. Will you excuse?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we got Mr. Leonard. And so have dependent administration. Is it not self-proved? Why are we doing a dependent?
Your Honor, this will was previously admitted to court, and my client here, Ms. Sykes, was appointed as the dependent administrator last year for purposes of dealing with a potential claim. That has all been handled, so we are here today just to have her appointed as the independent administrator There is a need for the ongoing administration, but that creditor issue has been handled. And so we're here asking her, she's appointed as the independent, and we did file the application to release her as dependent last week. And so if we're able to put it in the same order, that would be ideal, and let her move on down the road on her own.
Okay, so had we already done,
Yes, we're going from dependent to independent. We proved up the will.
okay, if you raise your right hand, Mr. Sykes, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth self you got?
I do.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Melissa, can you please state your full name for the court?
Melissa Salhab Sykes.
And is it true that your brother Joseph Salhab died in 2022 and his will was admitted to court already in 2023?
Yes, correct.
And is it true that you are currently serving as the dependent administrator of his estate?
Yes, I am.
And is it true that you are named in the will as the independent executor, and we are here today to ask the court to appoint you as the independent administrator?
Yes, that is true.
Is it true that you are qualified and not disqualified to serve as the independent administrator?
Yes, that's true.
And is it true that there is a need for the continued administration of Joseph's estate?
Yes, that is correct as well.
All right, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll have her sign her proofs, get those, e-file with the county clerk's office, we'll take care of getting the order signed, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor, appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right, y'all have a great week.
You
Thanks.
too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we've still got 20 minutes. We have
Sir.
two.
Yes, sir.
Yes, on the Bernard one, there's some siblings that will appear by soon.
Yeah.
And some will be
Okay, it's gonna be short because he doesn't even have his
correct.
annual accountings.
Kept telling her to that, but she wouldn't listen. Judge. I'm gonna take